D Films is one of the biggest creators on YouTube Shorts. Often compared to Mr. Beast for his impact on the platform, Zack made a name for himself with hyper-realistic, informative animations that rack up millions of views. But even with all that success, there were a few videos where Zack got things wrong, and the way he handled those mistakes might surprise you. Back in 2022, Zack decided to break down a viral magic trick performed by a magician known as Special Head. You might recognize him from America's Got Talent, where he performed a levitation trick that left both the judges and the audience stunned. Here's what happened. Wrapped in ropes and standing barefoot on a carpet, Special Head held onto a cane while humming deeply, and then, out of nowhere, he began to levitate. With just one hand on the cane and no visible support, he floated a few feet off the ground. The room went silent. People were amazed. Zack believed he had cracked the illusion. In one of his short videos, he explained that there was likely a hidden metal base under the carpet. According to him, the magician's cane was secretly attached to this base. He also suggested that a rod hidden in the magician's sleeve was connected to the cane, allowing him to lift his body using sheer core strength. But here's the twist: that explanation wasn't actually correct. Just a few days later, Special Head himself responded with a TikTok video. In it, he performed the levitation trick again, right in front of the camera. Then, in a move that directly challenged Zack's theory, he removed his rope and lifted the carpet to show his bare back, no harness, no support, no hidden rods. He debunked the entire theory. So how did Zack react? Instead of ignoring the correction or doubling down, Zack did something that earned him even more respect. He uploaded a follow-up video where he admitted that his explanation was wrong. No excuses, no defensiveness, just honesty. And in a space where creators rarely own up to mistakes, that kind of response stood out.
A few days ago, I showed you how this trick was done, and I was wrong. This is how I originally explained it. Cane, base, rods, back brace, harness. All that's left for the magician to do is use his core strength to pull his legs up. Well, this magician, known as Special Head, left a comment on my TikTok. He also made a response video proving that my theory is wrong. There appears to be no base or harness. In fact, Special Head has some other videos online where he just touches someone's head and levitates. So what's going on here? What's the real explanation to this trick? The answer is that I have no idea.
In another Shorts video from August 2024, Zack tackled a bizarre and somewhat disturbing claim. A man allegedly found a rat inside a can of Mountain Dew. The story originally came from a legal case back in 2012, where a man claimed he drank part of a Mountain Dew and discovered a dead rodent inside. He even tried to sue PepsiCo, the parent company of Mountain Dew, for it.
A man claimed he found a dead mouse inside a can of Mountain Dew he was drinking, so he sued the soda's parent company, PepsiCo. PepsiCo argued that Mountain Dew's highly acidic formula would actually dissolve a mouse body into a jelly-like substance before anyone could ever even notice it in the can. This odd defense left consumers worrying about what the soda really does to the human body if it can liquefy a mouse.
But things didn't end there. Another YouTuber named Edward Pinzaru decided to put Zack's claim, and Pepsi's wild defense, to the test. After watching Zack's short, Edward ran his own experiment, and it was just as weird as it sounds. He took 3 different items: a toy mouse, a piece of raw chicken breast, and yes, an actual dead mouse. He placed each one into separate jars, filled them with Mountain Dew, sealed them tight, and let them sit for an entire month. Edward was curious. The soda was clearly acidic, you could smell it, but would it really dissolve flesh the way Pepsi claimed?
Let's see what 30 days did.
Honestly, I don't know which one is which.
Meaning you'll see my first reaction to the results.
Let's see what happened to this one. Oh, that's the chicken.
It looked normal from afar, but...
Oh, it's very malleable.
The acidity broke down the soft organic tissue of the chicken, making it very easy to tear apart. Then came jar 2.
3, 2, 1. Is that the actual rat?
It looked normal, but when I grabbed it...
Oh my god, I don't even know if I'm like...
It split in 2. In the toy mouse...
Hey, look at that. He survived perfectly.
At the end of the day, that's what Zack D Films is really about: curiosity, ideas, and learning in public. But out of all the mistakes Zack has made, the most confusing one might just be his take on the Monty Hall problem. Now, you might not recognize the name off the top of your head, but I'm willing to bet most of you have heard the actual brain teaser. It's the classic car versus goats probability puzzle that stumped millions of people. Here's how it goes. You're told to pick one of 3 doors. Behind one of them is a brand new sports car. Behind the other 2? Goats. Let's say you pick door number 1. Then, the host, who knows what's behind each door, opens door number 3 and reveals a goat. Now you're given a choice: stick with door 1 or switch to door 2. What should you do? Well, the correct answer, according to probability, is to switch. Why? Because when you first pick, there's a 1 in 3 chance you chose the car, and a 2 in 3 chance you didn't. When the host reveals a goat behind one of the other doors, he's basically giving you extra information. That 2 in 3 chance the car was somewhere else now rests entirely on the door you didn't pick yet. So, switching bumps your odds to 2/3, while staying drops them to just 1/3. It's counterintuitive, but mathematically solid. Zack tried to break this down in one of his shorts, but instead of using goats and cars, he went with a more dramatic twist, a bomb defusal analogy. In his version, you're choosing between 3 wires to cut, one disarms the bomb, and the other 2 set it off. It was flashy, attention-grabbing, and honestly, kind of brilliant in concept.
Imagine you're trying to deactivate a bomb with a red, yellow, and blue wire. Now, one of these wires is the correct option, and snipping it will stop the bomb from exploding. But the other 2 wires will cause the bomb to go off if they're snipped. You choose the yellow wire, but before you snip it, you learn that the red wire would detonate the bomb. So now you must choose between yellow or blue. And you might assume that it doesn't matter because it's 50-50, but that's not actually the case. In the beginning, each wire had a 1/3 chance of being correct. When you chose yellow, the other 2 wires had a combined chance of 2/3. And when red was identified as the wrong wire, the odds didn't actually change, they were just reflected onto the blue wire, which means your chances are better if you switch to blue.
But here's where things went sideways. Zack's explanation ended up flipping the logic. In the bomb wire analogy, he made it seem like sticking with your original choice gave you better odds, which completely goes against the actual solution to the Monty Hall problem. Viewers caught on quickly, and the comments were full of confused reactions and corrections. Zack eventually recreated the entire video to set the record straight. This time, he refined the concept. Instead of using a piece of paper to reveal information, he added a more logical twist, a camera through which the bomb manufacturer watches the defusal attempt. Just before the protagonist is about to snip the yellow wire, a text message pops up on the phone. It contains new intel: the red wire is definitely wrong. And suddenly, it all clicks. With that small but crucial change, Zack managed to explain the Monty Hall problem correctly. The new version clearly demonstrated why switching choices increases your odds, all while keeping the high-stakes bomb defusal theme that made the original video so entertaining. He didn't just quietly fix the error and move on either. On both the old video and the new one, Zack pinned a comment openly explaining what he got wrong and how he fixed it. And once again, Zack did what very few creators with millions of followers ever do: he owned it. He responded to the confusion, acknowledged the mix-up in his interpretation, and admitted he got the logic wrong. No ego, no dodging, just straight-up accountability. In January 2023, Zack uploaded another short, this one titled "Why KFC Stopped Using Kentucky in Their Name." In the video, he explained that the company was originally called Kentucky Fried Chicken, but about 30 years ago, they had to switch to the abbreviation KFC. According to Zack, the reason behind the change was surprisingly petty. He claimed that the state of Kentucky had trademarked its name, and any business that wanted to use the word Kentucky had to pay licensing fees to the state.
30 years ago, Kentucky Fried Chicken changed their name to KFC, and the reason they did this is not what you think. You see, the rumor was that they wanted to nix the word fried for health reasons, but it turns out that wasn't true. The actual reason they changed their name was because of Kentucky, the state. You see, in order to make more money, the state decided to trademark the word Kentucky. This meant that anyone who used the word would have to pay licensing fees. Kentucky
Kentucky Fried Chicken refused to pay and changed their name instead.
Zack's video suggested that instead of paying up, the fast food giant just dropped the full name and rebranded as KFC to avoid the extra costs. It was a fun fact. Shocking, even. And millions of viewers took it at face value. But like some of his earlier videos, it wasn't entirely accurate. While it's true that the Commonwealth of Kentucky did trademark its name in the early 90s and began charging companies for using it, that wasn't the main reason KFC changed its branding. In reality, KFC had multiple motives for the name change. For one, the company wanted to downplay the word fried to appear healthier during a time when fast food chains were getting heat for their role in rising obesity rates. On top of that, rebranding to just KFC gave the brand a shorter, slicker, more modern identity, which appealed more to younger customers. Yes, the trademark issue with Kentucky played a part. But it wasn't the only reason, or even the biggest one. Before long, comments started rolling in, viewers pointing out that Zack might have messed up this time. Curious and committed to accuracy, Zack took a second look at his sources. That's when he realized where things had gone wrong. While researching for the video, Zack had come across a write-up on a well-known fact-checking site called Snopes. The article he found stated that the state of Kentucky had indeed licensed their name, supposedly forcing companies like Kentucky Fried Chicken to pay up, exactly what Zack repeated in his video. But here's the twist, Zack didn't notice the rating on the article. Right at the top, Snopes had labeled it with a category called Lost Legend. Sounds mysterious, right? Well, it's actually short for T-roll, a term Snopes uses for its collection of fictional stories created specifically to troll people. Basically, these are fake articles dressed up as real ones, published as part of an elaborate joke to see who takes the bait.
A few days ago, I posted a video about why Kentucky Fried Chicken changed their name to KFC, and my explanation was wrong. You see, I explained that the name change was KFC's way of nixing the word Kentucky, so they wouldn't have to pay licensing fees. But after posting this video, I noticed some of the comments were claiming I was full of so I retraced my steps and found where I went wrong. You see, I got this information from a Snopes article, but I didn't realize that Snopes had rated this article as Lost Legend. A Lost Legend rating is their way of trolling people, and I fell for it.
Zack took the bait. He wasn't the first to fall for it, and he definitely won't be the last, but to his credit, Zack owned up to the mistake right away. Just a few days later, he uploaded a new short clarifying the situation. He explained how he'd misread the source, admitted that he'd fallen for a fake story, and expressed real regret for spreading misinformation to his audience. He didn't try to spin it. He didn't blame anyone else. He just corrected the record, honestly and transparently.